Should you quit your job to start a business? Hey there, beautiful people. Gertrude Nontra here. You're welcome to my channel once again. If you are not already subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. There's no reason not to be subscribed. Come on now. Alright, so today's question is a really good one. And it's the question of, should you quit your job in order to run your business full time? And that is such a hairy question. And that I think there's no real right answer to it. The truth is that it depends. It really does depend, because you have to think of where you are in your life. So for instance, if you are the sole breadwinner of your home and you're working a job and you have kids to support, you have a spouse to support, you are, everybody's depending on you, and there's no external financial support, and you haven't created any system that will be a safety net for you when you make that jump from your full-time job to running a business, then no, it's a bad idea, because then what you're doing is you're putting your family at risk. You're putting you don't want your kids to live through, eviction notices and food not being in the refrigerator and, the light being threatened to be shut off. That's just a traumatic experience. And the truth is that a lot of the time kids grow up with that, and, we sometimes think we've shielded a lot of that from them, but they're kids that still remember that, and because of that, they live out that trauma, and they tell themselves, I never want to be poor like my mom, or I never want to be poor like my dad. And yeah, it's a good motivator to an extent not to remain poor, but then they live in fear every day that they will be poor, and so you don't want to put your family through that. And so I think one of the best things, which is something that I heard a long time ago when I first started this, and I heard this from John Lee Dumas, was become a sidepreneur. And that's what a lot of the videos on this channel is about, right? Become a sidepreneur and then build that on the side till it gets to a point where it replaces your income. So I'd say be patient with yourself, pace yourself, grow that side hustle to the point where it replaces your income. Maybe you would have to, grow it to a point where you have saved 3 months worth of income, plus now every month you're matching your income from your regular job. Then I think it's pretty safe to jump, because if you really do have a family, and I'm especially doing this because I'm talking to a lot of people that are in families, then I think it's really risky. Now, of course, there are always leaps of faith. There are always, let me do this, and people do this blindly and then jump in and do it all out, and it works out. But the truth is that sometimes it doesn't work out that way. And then you also have to think about other expenses, not just your salary, right? Because you have to think about health insurance. That's a big one. And so your health insurance from your job may be covering you and your family right now. Have you thought about how you're going to cover yourself and your family with health insurance? Have you thought about, those kind of questions? Those kind of costs that are already sucked up with your job? Have you thought about how you're going to cover those? And so if you're able, and that's why I recommend 3 months, and people even recommend saving up to 6 months worth of income, and then having that as a cushion, so that when you make the jump, because you're going to, as a self-employed person, you're going to have months when you're up and months when you're down. Even for me, as somebody who is still building this as a side business, there are months where my income will go through the roof, and then there are months where it's like, oh my goodness, like you're scrambling to find some money, and so it's variable. And yes, we believe for the best, and we believe that everything works out in the end. But I think that for the sake of your family, you may not want to put them through that. But if it's just you right now, if you're just a single person, and that leap that you take is not going to affect anybody else's life, then maybe, yeah. Or if you have a support system, maybe you have a spouse who has a fairly good job, and you guys have a conversation about the fact that you want to quit your job, and so that you can jump into your business full time. If you can have that conversation for you to come to an agreement, then I'd say yes, go ahead and do that. But unless you have all these things in place, unless you have had that conversation, unless you have a support net, I think it can be risky to jump. And maybe that's just the cautious part of Gertrude speaking, but that's just my opinion on that question. Alright guys, so if you have any comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment section. If you did quit your job and jump full-time into a business, let me know as well. And maybe you've done it totally differently from anything I'm describing. Hey, we don't know it all. Nobody knows it all. Share with us also how you did it so that we can learn from you. Go ahead and leave it in the comments. Thanks for joining me, guys. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and also go ahead and hit the little bell beside the subscribe button so that every time I put out a new video, you get a notification that I put out a new video, and then you can come over and watch it. Thank you so much for joining me, and God bless.